In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the Con Man, and I'm in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, it is Thursday, and oh, what a Thursday it is to be alive and talk some wrestling here at In Your House. And because it is Thursday, that means we get to talk a little dynamite. Yeah, and I don't do that alone. I get the pleasure to talk about AEW Dynamite each and every week with my brothers, my colleagues, my co-conspirators in content creation for professional wrestling here in the Midwest. One of them coming from Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room, one of my personal favorite other podcasts to listen to besides this one here. That's the OG of professional wrestling, Tony Gonzalez. What is up, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Just ready to talk some dynamite and ready for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost there, man. Tomorrow is Friday, and we are a week away from WrestleMania. But before WrestleMania, we do have AEW Dynasty this coming Sunday, and we got to talk about the Dynamite, the final Dynamite before Dynasty. I do that with the OG, but also I do it with my brother over here. He's the producer of the show on Wednesdays. He's the educator of Extreme, but every day he's the voice, Josh Joseph. What up, man?
What is up, house? How goes it, household? OG Tony, I'm glad to see you another week. I know the nurses are really pulling hard every time that
Hanging in
camera
there.
goes off. You keep on ticking, man. You're like the
Keep it going.
Energizer Bunny.
Love it.
But speaking of the Energizer Bunny, IYH is just we've hit the ground running
Oh,
since the
man.
expo. We got so many new friends.
Yeah, man.
We're still driving at Tony and Chris on getting their table because we want to be right next to
We
them.
sure do.
And we got friends who just give us gifts of video packages now, and we get nice compliments from people we've admired from years. Like wrestling's good right now in IYH land.
Yeah, man. It really is, man. It really is. The expo once again was amazing, and man, already making plans for next year's expo. If you guys get a chance to, not just my brothers here on the panel, but you guys out there in the household, check out Wells Mania podcast, the most underrated wrestling podcast on the planet. Check him out. Give him a follow. I was just on an episode with some other content creators, including the promoter of the Squared Circle Expo, Ed Gonzalez. And I don't want to give too much away, and I don't want to promise anything, but might possibly be some plans for In Your House to possibly host a panel at Squared Circle Expo 7. Hey, we're going to see about it. It's still a year away. That came from the mouth of Ed, so hopefully it's something we could surely make happen for sure. That'd be awesome. But we got Dynamite to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and I got to tell you, this episode of AEW Dynamite, it wasn't bad. I'm not gonna say it was bad. I'm not gonna use that word. But what I will say is it was all over the place. I mean, it was all over the place. I mean, for somebody who is used to structure in wrestling, sometimes the chaos of of AEW is a lot. And when I say chaos, because like you could watch Monday Night Raw and you'll see three pull aparts in the same show. That's chaos. But somehow they'll structure it in a way to where it's like away from each other. It's not happening back to back to back. With AEW, they do all their awesome stuff like super early and then get really super wrestling centric through the middle. And like sometimes you won't see those backstage segments for you'll see the intro, you'll see a big opening like we had on Wednesday when we had the United Empire show up. I have thoughts on that. But you'll have a big strong opening and then like after that explosive opening it'll just be wrestle 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 and like we're not getting anything leading up to what happened at the beginning. Like they might kind of say, oh, we're gonna do it, we started here at the beginning but we're about to blow it off at the end of the show. But like you didn't give us any middle. You gave us beginning and then we got to the main event and then middle was wrestle, 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 wrestle. Now, I'm not going to say that they did that completely in this episode because I think there was a lot of other segments there in the middle that weren't bad, and then there are some things that were bad. But we talk about every show honestly. So once again, if you come here and you're an AEW fan and we say something that's not so, because listen, I know how you AEW fans are. I love you guys, but sometimes you'll sit up there and here's what I've noticed. Just a little sidebar here, real quick. An AEW fan will never call an AEW episode bad.
Mm-hmm.
They won't call it bad. The cover word for bad is it was a solid episode. That's what they say. They don't say this was a bad episode. If it's a good episode, it's the greatest. It's amazing. It's the best episode ever. If it's a not so good episode, it's a solid episode. Because they can't say it. They can't say it. They can't admit when it's bad. And I'm sorry, but some of the things are bad. There's some things in this episode I thought were bad. But all in all, I thought it was a really good show. Yeah, for the most part, leading to Sunday, which is Dynasty. OG, what were your overall thoughts on this episode of AEW Dynamite?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I liked the way the show opened, except for the fact we talked off air and a little bit last night, texting back and forth just a touch. But
Yeah,
I didn't know who the United Empire was. I mean,
yeah,
I knew a couple names, and they never really addressed it that much during the
no,
show. So I didn't like that. Now I liked the way they shot it. I liked the way they kind of started with, there's five here and there's five there, and they're there in the parking lot or the parking garage. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought all that was fine. It's just the way the show's laid out. My biggest takeaway was I just didn't think it didn't do anything to really sell me on the big
no,
pay per view for Sunday, other
no,
than they tried to with Omega and MJF, but really nothing else on the show really tried to sell me on anything else. I didn't feel like me personally. Not that it was a bad show. It wasn't. I thought it was a decent show. I actually think it was the best show they've done in the last month. Uh, the last month I thought they'd been down a little bit. So I thought this was a step. I don't want to know if it's a step in the right direction, but it was a step.
yeah.
It was better than the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think just Jericho returning is gonna pop a rating, and that's not once again not to say the show was bad. I thought the show was pretty good, but what I realized in just watching the last two episodes of AEW Dynamite is Jericho being there makes a difference. Him just being there makes a difference. And I really realized that last night because man, I remember voice. I remember months ago we had on our friend Joshua Gresham. If you remember that episode during the first edition of the Content Creator Series, we had him on, and man, we had not so nice things to say about Jericho if he returned. I remember that episode. We were like, "Oh, I don't think he got some matches in him. I don't know. Those knees are bad. Blah blah blah. This and that." And then we kind of got a little analytical last week and was like, "Hey, maybe he could have some good matches in him. Maybe if he was with the right people, yeah, and we get all analytical, and that's what we're supposed to do. We break down wrestling. That is why people listen to us. That's why they watch us. That's why they check out what we're doing, because we break down wrestling in a way that people understand and they get and they vibe with. We're proud of that fact. But in that moment when Jericho was talking to Ricochet, which kudos to Ricochet, I think he did his part really well in that back and forth with Jericho on Dynamite. I didn't think about, oh, how many more matches does Jericho have left? Oh, how much time is he going to have on this contract before he goes to WWE? Oh, is Jericho fat? Does Jericho have abs? This and that. I didn't think about none of that. The only thing I cared about in that moment was that Ricochet made the list. That was
Yeah.
it. That was it. And that's the magic of Chris Jericho. Because with all the speculation around him, with everything people say about him, all the things that people say about him, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent, it doesn't matter. He knows how to keep it fun. He knows how to keep it fun. He brought out the list. He took off the AEW thing to reveal that it had the Jericho list on the back there, and it was just fun. I enjoyed it. Once again, we can get analytical and break down all day what Jericho's going to do, what his role is going to be, this and this and that. In that moment, I enjoyed that for what it was, but I got to give it to Voice here, man. This episode of AEW Dynamite, some of your overall thoughts.
Well, I mean, it was a decent AEW show, and what
Hmm.
I mean by that is, in a way, AEW pushed their storylines.
Are you saying it was a solid episode?
I'm saying it was a solid episode, but with a little extra spice, I'll say
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Because I like what you're talking about with Jericho. I pop for Jericho. I don't give a shit what anybody has to say at all. Jericho is one of my favorites, will always be one of my favorites. I still watch I still go back and watch him beating The Rock and Stone Cold in one night.
Yeah, man.
Because at that time, that was one of the most incredible heights to reach in wrestling.
100%. Yep.
And Jericho did that. He also popped me in WCW. I'm a Jericho holic. I do not give
Yes,
a
sir.
fucking shit.
Yes, sir.
I love Jericho. And when he did the list, it did pop me, like Tap Out Tavern said.
Yes. Shout out to them.
Yes, thank you, new friends. We shouted you out at the expo. I hope you've seen that, and I hope it got some people going towards
Yeah,
your content.
absolutely. 100%.
But Jericho has that ability to just wrap you away from the questions you had months ago. And I enjoy the fact that Ricochet's his opponent coming up
Yeah, I like
at,
it too.
I believe it's Dynasty.
Dynasty, yeah. I like it too. I think Ricochet's going to be a good opponent for him. I didn't even
He
think
is.
about him.
And it's a good one for Jericho to come back to, and it's a good one for Ricochet to get some traction
Yeah.
from. So at the end of the day, that's an AEW rub. That works for me. You're correct. When Jericho's on screen for AEW, the ratings go up because that's what he does.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a
fucking
needle mover.
yeah, well, think about it. He's one of the older wrestlers active today, and he still sells out a cruise.
Yep.
So people are still willing to pay money to spend 4 to 5 days trapped on a boat at sea with this man. So there's a draw to Jericho. Now,
His name
again,
equals money.
get 100%. I mean, come on, dude. I
I don't
may
know that's a
joke about it, and Tony, you've heard me say it. The cat taco pajamas. I joke about that, but that is an actual thing that people pop for on the Jericho cruise. It's something everybody looks forward to. It's these little things that he's built throughout his career, in which he's made his own universe.
Yep.
And you have to credit Jericho, no matter you like him, you hate him, whatever. You have to credit him to what he's done for wrestling. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, AEW's smart to keep him. But as a fan of his, I want to see him finish out in the WWE.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I listen. I agree with you. I agree with you there. I do want to see him have another run in WWE for sure. And there was a time in my life because and you guys have been fans for years just like me. think you develop favorite wrestlers, and then like there's a time period where a wrestler becomes your favorite wrestler, and then he just becomes a collection over the years of, hey, during that time period that was my favorite wrestler, and he's still one of my favorites, but during that time period he was my favorite. And
Yeah.
Jericho definitely holds that spot for me. During that time period he was my favorite
Yeah.
because the dude could just do no wrong. And like, not only could he get it in the ring, he could talk on the mic, but the dude's creative as shit. He's
Yeah.
one of the most creative minds in professional wrestling, period.
Yeah.
The way he creates out of thin air, makes the stupidest things popular. It's incredible. It's
Dude,
incredible.
he made the list popular before everybody got onto the list, and it was back in WCW, and it
Yeah.
was the whole wrestling move list. And
Yep.
he went through a commercial break, and they came back, and the motherfucker was still naming wrestling moves.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and he's reusing it and
And
reorganizing
keeping
it
it
to the
fresh.
yeah, exactly. So say what you want about Jericho, but you cannot knock what the dude has done.
No, you can't. You can't bring up that comment from our boy Ribshot. I want to give Ribshot some love. He actually got one of his cartoons shared on IG by Chris Van Vliet. So that's cool. Ribshot is an amazing cartoonist. He's in the chat and he says Jericho has become overhated. He's an absolute legend, top billing, first ballot Hall of Famer, legendary career, and one of the best ever. He's also a fundamental part of AEW's
A
rise.
hundred
Pin
percent.
that, pin that, pin that.
100% rib shot. I agree
That's
with you full heartedly.
100%. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. That's our pinned comment for right now because that's 100% accurate. Then we have our boy Daniel Garcia. As Champa and Mascara Dorado was wrestling gold. That was, yeah, I thought that was a good match. I felt like I knew who was gonna win that one, which was Champa, because Champa has been on a tear. As a matter of fact, before I get to this next comment here, I listen, I'm a man who respects accountability, and I'm gonna take accountability right now because Tommaso Ciampa, I owe you 100 apologies. I remember coming on this podcast and saying that you were not going to be able to hang in AEW because your neck was
Mm,
hanging on by a thread,
there was a
and
few people
you have come on AEW and been on an absolute tear,
fucking proven so many wrong.
a tear. Every single match that he's been a part of has been good. I
Hmm.
mean, just yeah. I owe you an apology, sir. I was not
Dude,
familiar with your game.
dude, I still wish his entrance music was that old song, Tony, a psycho
Yeah,
killer,
yeah.
like it would be so great watching him come out like that. But yeah, Champa is proving all doubters wrong, and
Yes.
I'm enjoying what he's doing there. It's a breath of fresh air, even though he's not a fresh air. He's an old bit of air in wrestling lingo.
But
Well,
he's cooking.
yeah. If
Cooking.
they're smart, they put the belt back on him. I
I
mean,
was
A
I
hundred,
promise I was thinking that.
especially with Fletcher being injured.
yeah,
I
yeah, oh yeah,
agree, Tony, 100% on that one.
100%. Yeah, I
We
think.
had Tap Out
Oh, let's bring up Tap Out's
chime
comment.
in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tap Out says Jericho will always be gold by keeping everything the same but fresh. That's see, you get
Hmm.
it. That's the Tap Out Tavern. They get it. That's exactly what Voice said. Is that he's taking the old but keeping it new. He says Daniel Garcia says, "Bring on the AEW list of jackasses." I love it, man. So, man, I got to tell you, this episode of Dynamite. Once again, I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was all over the place. The United Empire stuff. I mean, I know who the United Empire is, and probably people who watch and listen to this podcast know who the United Empire is. So let me take you outside of the wrestling circle for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Just hang with me for a second. I see these guys fighting the Death Riders in suits at the beginning of the show as things are going on the air. I got no clue who these guys are.
Mm.
I have no idea. Okay, I know it's hard for you guys that watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. Stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning and watch it on New Japan Pro World. I couldn't do it. That's why I stopped watching New Japan.
Well, that's because you need context.
Yeah, Listen,
Move on.
I
Move
live
on.
without
Just move
context.
forward. Just move forward.
But listen, people, there are a lot of people who have no clue who the United Empire is. Listen, I didn't even know who Callum Newman was until he won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, being the youngest one at the age 23. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not monitoring professional wrestling 24/7 every single promotion. When things come in front of me, I talk about it, but I can't sit up here and just spend my entire day intaking wrestling. I gotta take breaks. So yeah, there's people who I still don't know, and there's people out there who watch wrestling casually who had no clue who these guys were, and you didn't do a good job telling us who they were. So you got to do better about that. Also, why is Hikaru Shida just brooding over my TBS championship match, which I have thoughts about, and we're going to talk about when we do our loves and lows? Why is he just brooding? I don't understand that at all. Where his somebody tell me, has Hikaru Shida been on TV? I haven't seen her.
This was her second time. She
Yeah.
she debuted a week or so. Came re-debuted about a week ago, and she took on Willow, and Willow beat her. It was
Yeah.
on Collision.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, he texted me. He's like, who is this chick? And yeah, so she's been on once before, like Tony said.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Understandable. So that makes sense why she's brooding over the Willow match. But I'm just saying, like, what? Why? Like, she stood there. She could have came at the end of the match. She could have. She just came like. She came through like the middle of the match when the match was kind of heating up, and then she just stood there for like the remaining like 10 minutes of the match, and it just made her look stupid to me.
Yeah.
It just made her look stupid. I didn't think Hikaru Shida was there brooding being a badass. I just thought she looked dumb standing there for 10 minutes. And then Willow didn't even acknowledge her. And she might have as they were going into the commercial break, but they transitioned and we didn't even see it. So I don't know. Once again, I'll talk more about that when we do loves and lows. We're about to take our break here, but first, the Tap Out Tavern says the United Empire are going to be an epic addition to the AEW roster. It's only a matter of time before they become known names in the States. They will tell everybody who they are themselves with their in-ring work. I agree with that, Tap Out Tavern. I think that you are right.
Can I,
You are making a perfect point. I just want to add to that and say if AEW presented them in a better way, they wouldn't have that much of an uphill battle.
What were you
can
gonna
I
say,
address?
Tony?
Yeah, I wanted to address that because my only thing is right now, I think most of those guys are still signed with New Japan, so I don't know
Correct.
how much they're going to be on. So now if they leave New Japan and get signed, I agree with what he's saying. But if they're on just every now and then, no, they won't. The people are not going to know who they are.
Well, here's and I agree with you, Tony, especially in the landscape of AEW as it
Mhm.
stands right now. But I'll get more into this in my loathes part. But let me just prep the classroom with this idea, this thought. AEW needs new commentary.
Yeah.
It's time to get done with these guys who are just there to do the same thing that they've done for years upon years upon years. I will say the exception, Excalibur, keep him. But get us some new faces that are hungry, ready to announce, ready to give you that information, ready to go above and beyond and not have Vince yelling in your ear. I'll get more into this in my lows, but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think they could benefit from some fresh voices for sure. And honestly, it's been a lot of the same voices for really the last 7 years since the company's been there. I
What
mean,
and go Tony Schiavone has been doing this exact routine, and I love Tony Schiavone,
Yeah,
love him to death, but he's been doing this since WCW,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
also think Tony just sometimes it feels like he's just there.
like a Daniel Bryanson.
Getting a paycheck.
Yeah,
I,
it's the same thing with Danielson. He's just there. And like when you have that energy of guys who are because even like honestly, I can tell by the way Tony Schiavone dresses that he's like, I'm just here. Like
Yep.
the like the not the suits aren't tailored at all. They fit weird. And he has the sneakers to go with the suit. Listen, I'm not one to talk about how anybody dresses. I'm just saying I don't feel like he dresses like he gives a damn. I don't feel like Tony Schiavone gives a damn. I don't think Bryan Danielson gives a damn. And I think that get some everything evolves, everything changes. What would WWE sound like right now if Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross were commentating this current generation of Monday Night Raw? It'd be bad.
They
It
would fall
wouldn't be
asleep
good.
like that Mania.
It would he wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. You gotta have fresh. We gotta move forward. Now, can those guys be like consultants to the new guys? Absolutely. Absolutely, they could be consultants to the new commentators. But like there's at some point where it's like, listen, you're just here collecting a check and you're taking a spot from somebody else that's a lot hungrier.
Yep. And you're the storyteller. You're the one who's supposed to deliver the action when there's no action in the
With
story.
gusto.
Yes. And d- besides Excalibur, I really don't hear anybody on that commentary team get
No
excited.
gusto.
Yeah, they don't mark out for things, and you have to have that every once in a while.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes, honestly, you gotta have non. I think you gotta have non wrestling commentators. Like I think that there's definitely a time where you in a spot for like the wrestling color commentator. We've had them so many over the years, but like when you're a wrestler and you see a move in the ring, you don't get fired up for it in a way that somebody that's watching it as a fan and became a commentator watches it. I know when I commentate and I see a big move in the ring, I'm not like, oh, well, there was Insecurity. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Sage
Yeah.
Phillips with the drop. All right, yeah, Josh Crane. Oh, yeah, that was a great hurricane run off the top rope through the table. Like, you got to have some excitement.
Well,
Oh,
that's what they
perfect.
do. Go ahead, Tony.
Perfect, perfect example. Michael Cole, here a few weeks back, he's never, very rarely has he cussed on the air. He did that during when Obafemi
Yep.
did that to Brock Lesnar when he got him up here and
Yep.
tuck him down. His commentary matched what
What
it
was
should have been.
it?
And he's been doing it not as long, but similar to Tony Schiavone.
Yes.
So, and here's something that might blow your mind, House. They need a Corey Graves. And I'm one to
What?
never say Corey Graves deserves anything, but even Corey Graves delivers excitement to a
Yes.
match. He does what he's supposed to do. I just can't fucking stand the dude,
I
but he
know.
still does his job, and I'm okay with that. That's what they need over there. They're relying too much on names behind a mic, and in fact, in wrestling, especially with the talent you fucking have backstage, those mics can be anybody. Joey Styles proved one man can do two men's jobs
Yep.
and do it quite fucking well.
Yep.
Oh my God.
True. True. That's 100%. I think you're touching on something, man. We're gonna have to put a pin on that one because we do got to go to commercial break. But I think you're touching on something major there, dude. I think that's a big conversation. Good thoughts by the voice, Josh Joseph. Does AEW need a new commentary team? I'm gonna let you guys out there in the household think that over. But before we do that, once again, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna pay some bills, and then with myself, OG Tony, and the voice Josh Joseph come back. We're gonna run through our loves and lows this episode of AEW Dynamite. We'll catch you on the other side of this break. Hey guys, it's the executive producer of the In Your House podcast, Alakan the Con Man House, here to tell you on this commercial break to like and subscribe to In Your House on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at the In Your House Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe on Twitch at Team IYH. And remember to follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And leave a review and 5-star rating. We thank you for your continued support. It all helps for us to stay charted and continue to give you that work.
Welcome to the Brainbuster T-shirt website where your favorite podcast team in your house lives. Look at all these fantastic options you have. If you You want that sweet hype, we got it. You wanna be divinely designed at yours. Have you lost your voice? We have all that voice merch for you. Are you just a part of the household? We got that too. Brainbuster Tees is where IYH live. Brainbuster Tees is where IYH live.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
I know what you're thinking, fucking all wrestling fans don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You're 99% true. But there's one crew of fucking badasses led by my fucking bro, Alicon Howse. In Your House crew, you guys fucking rule. The only show I enjoy watching because you're not a bunch of fucking idiots and you know what you're talking about. So, I'm fucking with the In Your House crew. These are my fucking bros. If you ain't with them, fuck you. I know what you're thinking, fucking.
I love it.
I love that guy, man. I fucking love that guy. Hey, you already know what we're doing here. It's In Your House. We're badass construction worker approved, baby. If you're not down within your house, right here, buddy. Why don't you go fetch us some drinks? And we're hanging out with OG Tony. I'm hanging out with my man, the voice, Josh Joseph. And I got all the energy in the world because of Goalie Nutrition. Goalie Gummies. Check out everything they're doing. Goalie.com. We can help you out with that journey. All you got to do is go to checkout, put in promo code IYH and get that 10% discount. Let them know In Your House sent you, and check out everything we're doing on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on Twitch. We're also on IG, and then afterwards we're gonna be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And man, the amount of new listeners that we got from the expo is amazing. We have been getting those big downloads once again. So it's great to be back in that conversation. And because we're introducing these new fans, whatnot, we got to put them on game what we do here In Your House on Thursdays, because it is time for our loves and our loaves of AEW Dynamite. For any of you guys that have not caught the AEW Dynamite review show with myself, OG Tony, and the voice Josh Joseph, we do a little thing called Loves and Lows. It helps keeps things balanced here in the household because sometimes we get a little bit negative about AEW, so we got to keep things balanced around here, and that's why we do the Loves and Lows. It's one thing that we love, one thing that we loathe, and we're kind of loose with it. If it's more than one, it's whatever. We just let it flow and whatnot, but we're going to do our Loves and Lows. We're switching it up this week. We're starting with the voice Josh Joseph. Voice, give me a love and give me a loathe.
Okay, well, I'm going to say I kind of love the way AEW has to switch things up. And when they do that, they kind of present new possibilities. We talked about Tommaso getting this title back because of the Kyle Fletcher incident. Hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. I was really looking forward to seeing him back in the ring. So that's where I'm loving. And I also loved the fact, like I discussed earlier, I love this Ricochet addition to Chris Jericho on his comeback match and everything. I'm looking forward to that. And it's been a long time since I've been looking forward to a Ricochet match. So I love where he's at right now in his character build, and I think it's a smart move to pair him up with Jericho. Now my loathe, again, it's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's the commentary team, it's all of this stuff, it's even the production. I'm starting to think that more of their backstage segments need to be filmed a day or two in advance and gone over and critiqued and, kind of reshot until you get it right,
Yeah.
because there's nobody leading the horse backstage, and it shows, and this episode was very, very glaring of that, to the point that you only had two singles matches all night. Look, I love a good multi-man, multi-woman match. I think it brings excitement, but I don't need them every match. It's
Yeah.
not the idea of like when they introduced Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And as a kid, I'm like, every match is going to be a Hell in a Cell? And everybody who was smarter and older than me was like, are you a fucking idiot? No, the
That's
main match.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, you're going to have some cruiserweights in a Hell of a Cell match and they don't even use the set. Like, so production, commentary, all of that stuff, except Renee. You're doing fantastic work. Keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy your ringside interviews because again, that brings an
Always been
element
talented.
of the guard that we loved. WCW did that all the time with Mean Gene. I fucking love it. It's a good callback. WWE doesn't do it as much. It's usually just who's ever doing whatever segment they're in the ring or heading to the ring. Again, Tony Schiavone, you really need to just
Go back to selling coffee, pal.
dude,
I'm sorry.
something.
Go back to selling coffee, pal.
And I'm a Tony
Starbucks.
Schiavone fan. I was so
Me
stoked,
too.
so stoked when AEW landed him.
I was
But
excited too.
he's not. I criticize wrestlers all the time for not evolving and not taking that character to the next level. If you're going to be an on-screen presence every week, there needs to be an evolution to you also.
Hmm.
And it doesn't seem like that. It seems like a decline. Let's just coast till we get to the destination and then I'm out. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And it kills me to say, but they don't use Taz enough for him to be effective on the commentary team.
Yeah.
And it's showing too when he is on the mic. So Excalibur's the only saving grace for me on the commentary team. Everybody else, we could start anew. There's so many young talents that are coming up and announcing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of if you really pay attention to the indie wrestling scene, especially since like I kind of do the same thing, like I'll commentate for some shows or maybe I'll help out backstage and stuff like that. So those are the people I talk to. Those are the people that I work with like closely is the commentators, the ring announcers, the organizers backstage. I work closer with them than I work with the wrestlers. We're working on the same team. We're both putting up. We're all production team helping put the production together. So those are the people I'm working directly with, and there's some incredibly talented people that would benefit and would deserve the call to AEW, and they make that product better. They would make it better because it's more than just the in-ring product that makes a wrestling show good. It's all the surrounding things. It's everything. It's the announcers. It's the security. It's the commentary. It's the backstage. Interviewers. All of it. All of it matters. All of it matters. And when it's weak, like Voice has brilliantly brought up to our surface to our vision. Yeah, I think that AEW has a weak uh production team in terms of commentary, backstage interviewing, uh ring announcing. I mean, just like it all can do. Well, I don't know. Justin Roberts pretty good. I'm gonna leave you alone, Justin Roberts. You're pretty
Justin
good.
Roberts is doing his
I
job.
was gonna say I'm gonna leave you alone. My
Yeah,
apologies, sir, because I know you're good. But everything else around that, Justin Roberts, Excalibur, Renee Paquette, get rid of all of it else. Get rid of the rest of it, and just blow it all up. Keep those as your core pieces there. Blow the rest up.
I agree. Even even if you're not going to go with the indie circuit, there's so many YouTubers out there that do it, and you could get on that wavelength. Who knows what could happen? Take a swing.
Yeah, take a swing for sure. We're about to get to OG Tony, but you know what? I got to show love to Fightins in the chat right now because Fightins is in there right now. And not only is he hanging with us, he's getting himself involved in the love and low. So we're going to show him love. His love was that he loved the opening. I did too. Once again, I had my thoughts about it, but I liked it for what it was. My favorite way for a show to open is when it opens with a backstage brawl. Yeah, because I agree, that much I 100% agree with, because when it opens up like that, it's an immediate attention grabber.
Hmm.
Immediate. So I agree with that. Let's go with his loathe. All right. So Fighting's loathe was didn't like the MJF history package. I just thought it sucked. I saw the MJF history package. I this is the weird thing. Like, why do we need a history package on MJF when he's there every week? He's a badass. We all know what he's done or whatever, but we have absolutely no context on the United Empire.
Well, this is
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, 100%. But this is the 100% of the relying on MJF too much
Yeah.
to where you overexpose him and you come
Yeah.
up with dumb ideas like this. I
Yep.
agree with Fightins. Fightins, I don't know what the fuck happened in the world, but I'm agreeing with you all night tonight. So fucking
I
buy
know.
a
What
lottery
the hell?
ticket and watch out for falling elephants.
What the hell is going on? We're over here agreeing with Fightins. Like, what the hell? We love you, Fightins, man. Thanks for joining us and being involved, man. Let's bring it to OG Tony. Give me a love. Give me a loathe.
It was weird for me because I really didn't have anything I really loved. I didn't have anything I really loathed.
Yeah.
What I did like the opening. I liked the way it was shot. Again, we've all complained about about the United Empire not knowing them that well.
Yeah.
But I did like the way it was shot. So I thought it was pretty good. I agreed with House earlier. I thought Queen Amanita looked really good.
Yeah.
I've seen her for a while now. She'd been out for a little while hurt, but I had
Yeah.
watched her wrestle a few times, and she's definitely improved. So I thought she looked pretty good. Uh, yeah, again, I thought the show was pretty decent. My I won't say a low. Again, it's just the way that I disliked. It's the way the kind of show was put together. I mean, I know a guy mentioned about the match with Champa and Mascherano. It was good, but I mean, let's face it, Dorado's there to eat pins.
Yeah. He's there to eat pins. There's no doubt about that.
I'm not saying he's not a good wrestler, but
Sure.
you know what?
That's fair.
I just wish they would take a little time to try to build some characters because I think even though you may have guys eat pins, they would be more valuable if you try to build some of the characters of some of the wrestlers, and that's across the board. I
Yeah.
think they could do a better job across the board of building characters because I think, at least for me, I want to be invested in the competitors.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm invested, it's going to mean more. I mean, if a guy gets his head kicked off, if I don't care about the guy, well, he just got his head kicked off. If I
Yeah.
care about the guy, I'm gonna what the hell are they doing? That type of thing. So I
Exactly.
just want, I just wish AEW would do more. And again, I've said this before. I'm not their target audience. I'm 62 years old. I'm not their target audience. But so I understand that. But I still think that if they would do a little more of that, they would get more popular. They put more butts in seats, and they would get better ratings. I really believe that. I'm not saying they got to be WWE like. I don't want them to be WWE like.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I want. They're an alternative, and I want them to be the alternative. But I think they could do a little bit better of just building their guys and girls.
Well, not everybody can be a Will Ocean spray. The dude caught fire. Like he didn't have to build his story. Everybody loved what he was doing in the ring, and then he was allowed the opportunity to build his story, and he's
Yeah,
doing fantastic work doing that. So I credit him. And normally I don't say anything good about him, but
Yeah.
I his rise to where he's at is is exactly what AEW needs to look at and be like, how do we take the goods out of what Will Osprey is doing and becoming such a success and build it into these younger talents coming in?
yeah. My only concern is with Osprey, Fletcher, the way these guys wrestle. How
Yeah.
long are how long are they going to be around?
Oh, 100% on that, Tony.
That's Darby Allen, same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of
Yeah.
we're not big Darby Allen's fan necessarily, but there are a lot of
Hmm.
people that are. How long is he going to be around? We've seen how every match he's taking
Every match.
bumps that he don't need to take,
Unnecessary bumps. You 100%, Tony.
and
100%.
and the problem, and they're really unnecessary when because you do it all the time, they don't mean anything.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
You
Yeah.
take away two things. You take away your length in a ring, and the meaning behind whatever you're doing. And that you've already killed yourself out the gate. Ribshot brought up another point about the commentary. If you want
Let's
to
bring
get
it up.
into that real quick.
Let's bring it up. Yeah, bring it up here. He says people used to complain about Don West, but it would be great to have someone with his authentic enthusiasm on the AEW commentary. Wow, I didn't even think about Don West. Then you need someone with Heenan's wit and Ventura's voice. Oh man, Ribshot. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of guys like the guys you named left.
Well,
Like
the guy used to do NXT. He does
Mauro
boxing.
Mauro Ronaldo.
Tomorrow, I think he would be a good fit.
Mauro Ronaldo
And
would be great. I really enjoyed his commentary.
Yeah.
he could be the commentator, and then you could take Excalibur. Excalibur knows a lot of wrestlers, and he knows a lot of New Japan. He knows a lot of those guys. He could be the guy that could bring people up to speed on stuff as maybe in more of a color commentary role. And it'd be young, and it'd be young and fresh. That wouldn't be young, but it'd be fresh.
Well, and Excalibur is going to know how to go in and out of those roles, and where he's being the funny dude and
Yeah.
being the serious dude, into which where he could chime in with that. I love that idea, Tony. Yeah, and I mean honestly, if you just did those two guys and throw Taz in there for pay-per-views,
Yeah,
I
from
think
time
we
to
would
time, yeah.
I think we would
Yep.
get a different excitement out of Taz. I know not a lot of people are in too much into Taz on anything he does, but we are. We enjoy his stuff.
I'm a proud Taz fan. You're not gonna make me hate him.
Yeah, and then he could take over more of the comedy role, in which I thought he did well with when he was with JR.
Yeah.
This is a question here from Fightins. What do you guys think of Nigel McGuinness? I don't hate Nigel McGuinness on commentary. I think he does okay, but I know he's not there all the time.
Yeah.
Nigel McGuinness is all right. He's all
Yeah.
he's. I still think they need an overhaul, but Nigel McGuinness he's all right in my book. No issues with Nigel McGuinness. I think he does well commentary, but I still think they could benefit from just freshening it up. Besides the names that we said, so all right, let me get to my loves and my lows. I got a couple of them. First off, my love, I got to show love to Queen Aminata because I was uncertain about her outing when she went out there because she looked a little bit like she wasn't ready for the moment, like she seemed a little stiff, like and mechanical during her entrance. And I was like, listen, I've worked with Queen Aminata. I worked with her at a show here in Indiana, WTF. She worked one show here, and then she got called up like right after that to I think Ring of Honor, and she'd been there. And now she's getting her chance to come back to Dynamite after I believe Tony said she came back from some injuries and whatnot. And I got to tell you, as that match built, I was like, okay, this is a lot better than what I thought it was going to be in the beginning because she pulled out some really great moves and she looked really clean there in the ring against somebody like Willow Nightingale. When you have somebody like Willow Nightingale, you got to look good because Willow's going to make you look good. So you have to take advantage of that. I think Aminata took advantage of it for sure. And I think she took her moment. I really liked her facial expressions and the way she emoted at certain things. There was a couple of times there, like in the beginning of the match, she hit Willow Nightingale with that snap neck breaker and then pinned her for a 2 count. And then Willow rolled out to the ring and was like, whoa, what just happened? And like Queen Aminata looked at her with their fingers like this close. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I like it. I like it. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. I just enjoyed those moments there. There was also something in this match that I love. I kind of get to it. I kind of got to it already, but I'll just wrap it up and keep that tight on that one. But another thing that I loved, Christian just talking about banging both FTR's mom. That was crazy, hilarious.
That too.
He's our father figure. He's our father figure. And then he went on to say, "Don't worry, Stokely. Well, I'm gonna get to your mom next. I'm gonna bang her after me and Cope become the AEW Tag Team Champions." And that's just classic Christian Cage. Just funny and crude, just for the sake of being crude, because he can do it, and that's entertaining to me. I enjoyed that. Another thing, I gotta finally say it, and I didn't think I was gonna say it, but I'm saying it. Will Ospreay, He's not somebody that I vibe with. You don't hear me talk about Will Ospreay that much. I know that Voice has been pretty vocal about how he feels about Will Ospreay. I'm kind of indifferent to the cat. He doesn't really appeal to my sensibilities, but I'd be a fool not to see that there's something there, and he definitely has. I mean, it's obvious. I'm not sitting over here saying like, "Oh God, Will Ospreay is one of the best kept secrets in professional wrestling." No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I can see the fire that he has behind him and the fan base that he has behind him, and just because I don't get it doesn't mean I don't want it to be successful. So I'm all for it. It is what it is. Fighting says, "Come on, bruv." Listen, I'm not a big bruv guy, but you
Yeah.
know what? If it works, it works, and I see that it's working.
Titans one loves a good thirst quencher. Will Ocean Spray.
Will Ocean Spray. So let's get to my lows here. My lows here is once again, like I said, Hikaru Shida standing there during that match. I could not stand that at all. I just it really just bothered me. Like to see her standing there that whole time, and I'm like, okay, like what is she there for? What are we leading towards? That for me was a personal Bigelow, which I know that you guys had kind of talked about that a little bit. That she had some history. She had just lost to Willow Nightingale. I get that. I just feel like the time that she was out there was ridiculously long and not needed.
Yeah.
Another low for me, man, is I'm over Andrade. I mean, I just over it. Great wrestler, have no fucking clue about his direction at all. He's part of the Don Callis family, and ladies kiss him in ringside, and he's there. It's like he's just there, and like I don't get it at all. I don't get what his direction or what his trajectory is at all because he has for somebody who wrestles as well as he does, which is above average levels. He has such a low ceiling, and I don't understand why. Somebody who has the amazing ability of Andrade. Many people have said, "Oh, it's been an honor to work with Andrade. He's one of the smoothest in the ring. He's one of the greatest in the ring. People don't talk about how great Andrade is in ring. Blah blah blah. I get it. I hear it. I feel it. This guy does not seem like he has any clue who he is at all. And he's going to keep, if this is his plan, is to keep changing companies until somebody's like, all right, we see you as a guy. You're going to be changing companies for a long time, brother, because it's not the company, it's you. And if you don't see that, you might not be the stupidest motherfucker on the planet, but you better hope that the stupidest motherfucker on the planet doesn't die.
Yeah.
Because, brother, look within. I'm loathing Andrade right now.
Hey, JCW could be calling. You never know,
Oh
man.
my god! He's somebody I want to see do good, but I don't get it, man. What did you have something to say, OG?
I disagree with the one guy, the Tap Out Tavern, that
Oh,
said
I
that they
tap out
dropped the
Tavern
ball.
Friends.
That they dropped the ball on Andrade. I disagree because I'm not saying that he had great stuff to deal with, but he's not been happy and really has not done anything of substance for very long anywhere he's been,
That's a
Hmm.
problem.
other than NXT.
That's a problem. If he's not he's not contributing at a top tier level,
No,
but he's never happy anywhere that he goes. I think it's safe to say that Andrade is the James Harden of professional wrestling.
It's a it's a bold statement, and I don't think you're too far off from the truth. But I will say, Tap Out, I kind of agree there, Tony, with them because I had a whole gimmick, a whole 2 years worth of storylines drawn up for
Oh, it was so
Andrade
good. It was so good.
and Penta and Ray Phoenix. And they just all of a sudden, it was like once they got Penta and Ray, Andrade was yesterday's news. And
Mhm.
you kind of seen it with the booking, you kind of seen it.
Yeah.
But again, that's probably his attitude contributed to some of that backstage too. So I'll say you both have valid points on that, but I can see both points very, very glaringly. But I'm an Andrade fan. I like
Oh, I am
Andrade.
too.
I
I am
love
too.
his work. I love his work. He's a great worker. He's one of those guys that gets in his own way.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. He's one of those guys that gets in his own way. So, man, I'm loving all the energy here in the chat. I just love it. You guys are awesome, but we do got to wrap this thing up. We do got to get OG out of here and call this a really great episode. As much as I'm loving this energy here in the chat, I want to go around the room and you guys out there in the household chat, get with us and tap in too. What are we giving this? 10 stars on a 10-star scale. What are we giving this show? Let's start with OG Tony. What are you giving this show? 1 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay, that's fair. I think 7 out of 10 is fair. Voice, what about you, man?
7-2 straight out of Kalamazoo.
All right, all right. So we got it there. Yeah, I 7. Just a solid. I mean, this. I'm not being an AEW fan when I say this. It was a solid episode.
Yeah, it was.
Tap out 7 says
Get
9
out
for
of
the
here.
list alone.
Get
I
out of here.
listen. I'm
Tap
not going to
out.
argue with that because I love the list. I'm
I
not going
love
to
the list
argue.
Yeah.
too.
If
I
you
love the list too.
the list is valid, so yeah, I'm staying with 7 out of 10. But if you give it a 9, that's fine because the list is super valid. So that is absolutely fine. But man, once again, you guys in the chat, awesome, really enjoying all the energy and whatnot. But I gotta get us out of here, right off into the sunset with my guys here. Oh, gee. You already know what the deal is, man. You're doing your thing there on Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room. Let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah, here in just a few minutes, 8 p.m. or a little after, we have Face or Heel Pro Wrestling Talk. Me and the gang will be on there. And then at 10 o'clock, Gonzo's Sports Room, we'll be talking about a lot of different sports. I think we'll be covering the Masters a little bit, a little
Cool.
baseball, a little NBA playoffs are coming up soon. We'll be
Yeah.
talking that. So we'll be talking UFC, big UFC 327. Chris will have predictions, betting odds and predictions for that. So we have a big show at 10 too. So check us out, please.
Hey, you guys are doing awesome things over there with the wrestling. Now, of course, with the sports and everything. Love that you guys are doing all that. But, Voice, you already know, man, you're always doing awesome stuff here at In Your House. Where can they catch you and everything you're doing?
All right, fans, I want you to go out there and tap into Face and Heels there with Tony and them and get in there and let Chris know all his picks are wrong. Anything Chris says, just be like, "You're wrong, Chris." Get him going. Yeah, he's a good guy. You'll enjoy the chat you get with that, and his laugh is fun. So you'll have a fun time there. But for me, if you want to catch more of this, you got to tune in next Thursday, 6 p.m. is when we go live, and you can be a part of it. Get in that chat. Talk to us about AEW Dynamite because you know me, OG Tony, and Howse will be talking and recapping next week's Dynamite. So after that, fans, we do a fun show on Tuesday. It's about the Monday Night Raw that you just watched the night before, but that involves me and Kevin Calloway. He's a Chaos Goblin. He's also a professional in the ring, and he knows what the hell he's talking about. And he's one hell of a podcaster too. He's my co-host. You can have a fun time with us where we break down Monday Night Raw, and we've been doing a new segment as of the start of last week. Kevin's friend Trevor joined us, but we have taken the success of the blind rankings and we are now inviting you, the household, to join us. What you need to do is get a hold of us on our Facebook page. Just send us a message to the page. Somebody will respond to you. We'll get you up. We'll give you the topic of the blind ranking. And then on Tuesday, we'll go live, we'll bring you on, and we'll let you do your blind ranking right there. It's a fun time, and all the blind rankings will be non-wrestling related. We did mainstream horror movies last week, and it was a fun time. Trevor backed himself into a corner, and he gave away all his picks, so number one got defaulted. But that's on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Wednesday, let's talk about it. 6 p.m. It's about an ECW show way back yonder in time and history, and it's a fun time. And it's me and Howse, and we watch ECW. We're in the rivalry series. When we get back into it and we start going live, we're going to be covering Bubba and Devon, the rivalry between those guys. And let me tell you guys, I have so much for you on this one. We are going to cover the Dudleys before Devon and after Devon. So stop in for this one. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a classic. And that's on 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. It's a theme, 6 p.m. Join us, IYH. And can't wait to see the expo next year. I already got my bags packed. Let's just fucking go.
Let's just do it, man. Let's just go, man. And yeah, Expo was amazing. We'll definitely be ready for it next year. But as for me, this coming weekend, I will be at Emerge Wrestling for Emerge Big Business. And man, I'm going to be popping out, doing my thing. That's probably one of the last big things I'll be popping out for until probably May. Week after that's going to be WrestleMania. So you already know In Your House is going to be having heavy WrestleMania coverage. That's one of the busiest times a year for In Your House, and we're covering everything. And now I have the best team in the world to help me cover WrestleMania. I don't have to do it by myself because I got the best team. Tap Out Tavern. We hope to see you next year, man. We hope to see you in these chats as well. And if I can have one more love before we get out of here and call this a great episode, my last love for AEW Dynamite was the fact that there was no Speedball Mike Bailey on my screen at all. And with that, we're going to get out of here for OG Tony Gonzalez from Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room, for the voice, Josh Joseph, and the whole team here at In Your House. I'm Alakon, the Con Man House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon, get on, or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. We'll see you Sunday. Peace.
Dynamite, 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 dynamite.